Horror Special, Me and Darrel Sikes, Part 2. Peaches seemed very organized. I bet nothing fell out of her desk in her whole life. Then she'd ask if there was anything I wanted to talk about, and when I would say no, she would smile sweetly and look unhappy at the same time. Sometimes Darrel Sikes would sit with us in the hall. I think he has been special needs ever since dinosaurs roamed the earth, or at least since the Declaration of Independence was signed. He kicked a teacher in the shins when he was in first grade, and when he was in third grade, he was finally tall enough to punch one in the nose. At least, that's what people say, but who knows what's true? Mum says not to judge a book by its cover. Even so, I couldn't help but think that if Darrel was a book, the cover would read True Crime Stories. Darrel never spoke one word to me and wouldn't look at me, and I thought he was a real gentleman for it. I did the same for him. Darrel had a different set of manners for Peaches. Darrel grunted at her as if any time she asked him something, she was disturbing him from a nap. If we were playing a board game, he would roll the dice and move his piece backwards. If Peaches asked him a question, he would answer by asking, "Are you married?" and batting his eyes, looking very interested. Sometimes he would smash everything off the table with a clatter and swear. "I'm afraid I'm going to have to call your mother," Peaches said calmly. "Well, don't you be afraid. You just go ahead and call her," Darrel hollered. "You think she care? If she care, why the hell would I be here in the hall with you?" I told my mom about this and all about how funny Darrel is, and the next day she came to the school and we had another meeting with Mr. Stinger and Peaches. "I want her out of the program," she said, "or whatever it is you've got going on here. I'm not sending her to school to sit in the hallway with some lunatic." "He's not some lunatic," corrected Mr. Stinger. "He's a human being with special needs." "Special needs?" my mum stuttered. "The only special need that boy has is for an old-fashioned crack across his behind. My daughter isn't spending part of a day with a teacher beater." "It's just what people say, Mum." I pulled on her sleeve. "Don't judge a book." She shook me off. "Your daughter needs support during this time," Mr. Stinger reminded her, and Peaches nodded. I thought to myself that teacher just wants someone to play Uno with. "Maybe we should ask Sahara what she wants," Peaches suggested, with her unusual sad happy smile. "Is it Christmas? Are you the special needs Santa Claus?" asked Sahara what she wants. Mum twisted in her seat and made a noise between a cough and a laugh. "Look, I don't have time for this. I know she's capable of fifth grade work. She reads at home. She reads plenty. I think she writes too," she said accusingly. I didn't look at her. She whirled around in her chair and growled at me. "Sahara, tell them you like to write." She was telling it true. I read at home and write too, but whatever I write, I make sure I'm by myself, and then, when I'm done writing, I rip it out of my notebook. I hide it in a binder behind section 940 in the public library, where all the books about somewhere else are located. This very paper, for instance, will someday be an archaeological find. Someday someone will reach behind section 940 and find the dusty works of me, Sahara Jones, secret writer, and that person's life will be made more exciting by reading my heart-wrenching life story and amazing adventures. Someday people will be glad I kept track. Someday people will see I am a writer, and because I'm writing a true story of my life, I have to talk about school, since I'm still a kid, and it's a very big part of my heart-wrenching life story and amazing adventures. I'm sorry to report that school is heavy on the heart-wrenching, but so far has been running low to empty on amazing adventures. But I still go, because maybe one day I will have an amazing adventure there. Also, both the law and my mother make me go, unless I'm sick with chicken pox or getting a tooth pulled or going to a funeral. So school is a lesser evil, usually. Yes, I like to write, I squeaked. Mum bounced her purse on her lap and smiled as if to say, so there. Mr. Stinger looked at me sideways for a moment. Yes, the letters. No, not just the letters. I wanted to tell him. Not just those stupid letters that threw legs to follow me around, that grew legs to follow me around. So I can have those letters back now. I tried to sound like honey with sugar on top. Well, we need something to show that you like to write, don't we, Sahara? Mr. Singer smiled. We certainly don't have any schoolwork to make that point, and this is what I'm talking about. Where is the work, Mrs. Jones? Where is the work? She doesn't do it here. You're saying she doesn't do her work? So take care of your business. Fail her like a normal kid. The failure will be between me and my daughter then. You won't like it if her failure is between me and you. There are serious repercussions to retention. Blah, blah, blah. My mother can be very rude. So they promised to fail her. Remember, you asked for it, they said to my mother. They made her sign a form, then another, then another. The door closed and we stood out in the hall. I knew they were talking about my mom behind the glass, saying mean things about her, about what sort of mother would deny her child individualized attention. But Mum was smiling and I was proud, really proud of my mum, not being afraid of failure. I am. I'd sooner not try than fail. They may think I'm stupid, but I'm not. Knowing I'm not stupid is enough for me. I'm enough for me. When my mother smiled at me, I could see I was enough for her too, at least for that moment. I walked back to my classroom, past the little table outside the door where Darrel was sitting in the public of the hallway, waiting for Peaches to return, drawing on a side of a shoe with a black marker. He didn't look at me, and I didn't look at him. But in my head, I said, "Oh, thank you, Darrel Sikes, for being wild and nasty and rude, and getting me out of the program, and making me normal dumb, not special dumb. I owe you one, Darrel Sikes, but I could not imagine how I would ever pay him back." That's all for me and Darrel Sikes.